Hey, what is up, everybody? This is Stevie Breach coming to you here today, going live. Possibly one of the biggest stories that WWE has done behind the scenes, and honestly, quite a long time. WWE striking up a deal with ESPN. They're going to be moving over their premium live events, aka the pay-per-views. Somehow I made a video talking about a SummerSlam match when I was walking around. I think it was talking about the Jelly Roll Randy Orton tag match. And I just randomly started talking about the premium live events, how this might be the last SummerSlam that we actually get to watch sort of for free. I've always subscribed to Peacock since the day that they moved over. I was a day one WWE subscriber. Um, I just thought it went hand in hand. Basically, we were going to get Peacock already because The Office was moving over from Netflix, and now WWE is going to be there. It is a match made in heaven. I don't know what the price is, and it's honestly kind of funny that a lot of people who made videos about this deal, a lot of people don't know what they're paying for Peacock. I seem to remember when I signed up, it was $5 a month with ads. Some people are saying it's over 10. I've never noticed it on my bank statement or anything like that I'm paying abnormally a large amount of money. I know that I've looked at ESPN um, and seen this $30 a month, but I've sort of, came down off the ledge a little bit. It seems that there's a lot of stories out there. The guy from Fightful, I forgot his name. It's like Sean Scott or whatever it is. He's one of the people that tweets about wrestling a lot. He gives out a lot of news. He's sort of backed this up. I've looked for a lot of other people to say the facts that are out there. But when you watch the clips of Cody Rhodes, Triple H, Nick Khan, people stopping by ESPN to make this announcement, it seems like they really want the word to be out there that it's going to be $30 a month. The people that are going to have to pay $30 a month are the people who do not have a cable subscription through old school Xfinity, Comcast, YouTube TV, Dish TV. If you have any of the above, I think that even like the Hulu Live will count. Basically, if you can log into ESPN and you're able to show them that you don't have to like show them your cable bill. I think everybody in the world knows how to do this. You just log in to your connection, and you're able to show them you have ESPN. You're going to get it. At the worst, I think that honestly we might have to sign up to be ESPN Plus members. So let's just say it's either going to be paid for by your cable bill, or at the worst, you might have to pay the $11. Jim, I see you in here. I just watched your video right before I clicked live. You go over to Jim Knight 888. He's right. People are all fired up about this. Jim's video is really, really good. He's reciting off months of paying cable bills. Me and Jim were texting within a few weeks ago that I don't think people understand how we used to watch wrestling pay-per-views back in the day. My dad was a hardworking single dad. I lived with him basically almost my entire life. And there was very few months I came to him and said that I wanted to watch a pay-per-view. I remember one of the first wrestling pay-per-views that he let me buy was SummerSlam 1993. And that was a mix of things. It was on my first day of school when we started 7th grade. My birthday was coming up, and so it was sort of used as a birthday present. And probably just to get me off his back. He's probably wanting to do something, and I was probably bugging him about Lex Luger and Yokozuna. But I mean, like the in your houses that were $20 that were kind of looked at as like an extra edition of Raw, that were really fun. But Jim was talking about I think the example he used was 1997, where you bought in the same month, you bought an ECW pay-per-view for $20. You bought War Games, a WCW pay-per-view, that was probably $30, and you bought Survivor Series for another $30. And people didn't complain. There was no internet streaming. There was no illegal jailbroken Fire Sticks. Basically, you sat there and you waited for the internet, or you just waited. That was all there was to do. I can remember the Royal Rumble 1991. I sat down at the television, and when they had digital cable boxes, they could block out the video, but they weren't able to block out the audio, and it would be all scrambled. People called it scrambled vision. That's how you used to watch the Playboy channel or the Spice channel back in the day. But if you had it on the pay-per-view channel that had it on, you could listen to the pay-per-view like it was radio. I loved sports radio as a kid. I listened to sports talk shows. I listened to football, baseball, basketball. I used to listen to a station called KSAC here in Sacramento. It was 1140. I used to call into the morning show a lot. The guy that hosted the show let me go down there one morning because I told him I wanted to be a professional broadcaster one day. Look how it paid off. I'm making YouTube videos now. But it really was the thrill as a kid. But I mean, I remember thinking that they had made some sort of a mistake when they announced that Sergeant Slaughter had beaten the Ultimate Warrior. How does Sergeant Slaughter beat the Ultimate Warrior? And it wasn't until like Superstars that you actually got to see the video of Macho Man running down and hitting him with a scepter. Sometimes you had to wait until you went to the store and you would tell your parents as they were cashing out the groceries, I'm going to go look at the magazine section real fast. And you're flipping through WWF magazine. Of course, it's like 4 months later till it hits publication. And you finally get to see a picture of like Hulk Hogan losing to The Undertaker at Survivor Series 1991. I'm not really worried, honestly, at my house. I think that one way or another, we're either going to get this not on YouTube TV, but using the YouTube TV. At the worst case scenario, they are going to make us sign up for ESPN Plus. There's another tier called ESPN Unlimited. That tier is the one that costs $30. That's the one where you get to watch ESPN, ESPN2, ESPN News, ESPNU, ESPN Classic. There's just all of this stuff thrown into there. I honestly have as many questions about the NFL package that they just purchased as I do for the WWE stuff, but I'm not really worried about it. I think it's going to work out. The people that I worry about are the people that are like in their 20s, that are living on their own, that are wrestling fans, that are, it's hard out there in the world. And from a 40-year-old guy, I'm going to tell you, like, I understand. I've got kids. I've got a 15-year-old, an 18-year-old, my girlfriend. We've got another 15-year-old. We've got two 12-year-olds, and I just screwed up their ages. We got too many kids in this house. But, like, I understand what it's like. And part of me thinks that they're all going to live in my house until they're 40 years old because of the fact that it's just expensive to live out there in the world. And freaking this ESPN WWE deal is the one thing tipping tipping over all of their budgets. I know that, I'm sure. But, those are the people that are going to be like looking like they don't have a YouTube TV subscription because it's $80 a month. They don't have Comcast because that's like freaking $180 a month. Those are the people that are going to be like doing whatever they got to do. If it means that, like, I don't even know if WMR is still around, but like early 2010s, I tip my hat to you, WMR. You got me through a lot of days until the WWE network come around. Like, we might have came on YouTube and made reviews acting like we paid the money. No, I didn't. And my buddy Mike always jokes about the fact that there was an Adam Cole documentary or old Adam Cole YouTube video where he was watching WMR and he had an account. There's that one picture at a summer league game that LeBron James is sitting on the bench and he's watching some illegal streaming site to watch NBA games that are out there. But I'll tell you more often anything than not, what I'm really, really scared about is the WWE library. That's what we don't know about. That's the big question mark. And I listened to Observer Live with Brian Alvarez. He had questions if maybe WWE could open up their own library app to sort of stream the old shows and keep that going. What I would fear more often than anything than not is that if WWE launched their own WWE network, how many people are going to sign up thinking that is what they need to get to watch the pay-per-views, and they're not going to be on there because of the fact that's where they used to be, and that's always what they did. I don't know. Some people say that they might still live on Peacock, where Peacock signs a deal to keep the WWE network. I don't know why Peacock honestly would do that. I don't, like there's stories out there that Peacock was upset about the number of subscribers that came over to watch the WWE network, and to watch the pay-per-views, to watch the old stuff and all that. Basically, they lost a lot of money in this deal. Bringing WWE over. I guess the SmackDown thing works, keeping it on the USA Network. Raw always worked on Raw, but just keeping people onto the subscription thing. If it made money, WWE would be doing it on their own. I mean, they launched that WWE network. They said the magic number was 1 million subscribers. I think they did everything in the world to try and make it work. They did everything in the world to try and keep it afloat. They did everything in the world to try and I think they did everything in the world to try and lie to the shareholders that are out there. They were doing the free. They did the deal where if you signed up, there was free access on the thing to try and get you hooked, to try and watch this, that, and the other. But then there would be certain videos or certain shows that would be locked, and you wouldn't be able to watch those. So you'd be like, oh, I can't watch Hell in a Cell 2012 today. I guess I'll just sign up and I'll end up, going to watch it. I don't know if that really would have worked, but if it was working, they would have just they would have just kept going, and they'd still be doing it on their own. So, I kind of think that YouTube, their WWE Vault channel, as well as the WCW Vault channel, I don't know if they've launched an ECW one or a Territories one. I think it would be smart. I don't really know how much AdSense is going to roll into WWE to move the thing to move the needle, honestly, to make them care about it. But for the people like Jem, the people like me, I know that Chad Rapp commented on my videos today, basically saying that he was glad that he kept his DVDs. I'm telling you, like right now, I'll just grab these. I don't know why Davey Richards is on top, but that's not the one I was talking about. But like, these are 3 custom DVDs that I have, and of course, one of the best WWE DVDs of all time, The Rise and Fall of ECW. You have this. You've got these legacy DVDs of old ECW shows, as shown on TV for the first time, showing the history of ECW from 1992, and it says it goes to 2014 because they cheat and they use the WWE and they use the TNA show, but until the dying days of 2000, or was it 99? I honestly don't remember, but like, this is worth $1 million to me, because how am I going to watch ECW? I mean, yeah, there's grainy footage that is up on YouTube that you can watch. And like when I was thinking of a classic match last year, I was thinking of it was a crazy time in wrestling. A WCW wrestler wrestled a WWF wrestler in an ECW ring for the ECW championship at an ECW show. And the only way for me to watch it was to go on YouTube. And I watched it that way. And I was like, oh, yeah, that was the time that Taz beat Mike Awesome for the ECW championship. And then, of course, Taz would go back to WWE with the ECW title. He would appear on SmackDown. He would wrestle against Triple H, and then he would go to the ECW pay-per-view, and he would drop it to Tommy Dreamer, who immediately dropped it to Just Incredible. I mean, stuff like that. I mean, you need YouTube to be there. And I remember when YouTube used to be really strict and not let you upload stuff like that. It seems like it got taken down as fast as it was up there. But I don't know. That the stuff like this is kind of the stuff that I'm scared about, because let's say we'll just use this. The first one that's going to be shown, WrestleMania 42. Where does WrestleMania 42 live the day after WrestleMania? Like, how long is it going to be on this ESPN app? Is it going to be there for 30 days? Is it going to be there forever? Like the Peacock thing. And so it's like, if you can watch WrestleMania 42 forever on ESPN, where's WrestleMania 40, WrestleMania 1, WrestleMania 2? Where's the in your house library going to be? That's honestly what I'm really scared about more than anything else. Let's see. Chad Rap, Taz, why doesn't... I don't know. Carlos, that's a really good question. He said, why doesn't WWE use just one service? Because of the fact that TKO is trying to make as much money as humanly possible. And as of right now, the UFC rights are going to be up. And there's a big rumor that UFC is going to split up their shows, where some shows will live on Amazon Prime. Some shows will live on ESPN, and some shows will go to Netflix and use the Netflix deal that they made with WWE, grow off of that to kind of like get their stuff a little bit out there. They want to have, it's the same reason why SmackDown and Raw are not on the same network, is because there's more money out there to grab. They're gonna reach out and they're gonna grab it. I don't know. I mean, as a wrestling fan, I understand that people think we are crazy to want to go back and watch old wrestling and old shows, to watch the things that you're going to like look back on. I love to watch the old Saturday night's main events. Sort of 90 to 92 is my wheelhouse of classic wrestling. I don't know how many times I have watched Survivor Series 1990, but I've watched it a million times. I mean, probably SummerSlam 1991 is another tape that I've watched 1,000 times as well. It works. Sometimes you want to go back and watch just one match. Sometimes you want to watch the entire show, but there's got to be something out there for us to do this. I think that if they go the YouTube route, the stuff will be up there and the stuff will be free. But I think you're a madman if you're going on YouTube these days and you're not going ad free. If you're going on there to watch War Games 1995 Fall Brawl and you're not signing up for a YouTube free account, you're a madman. There's probably going to be ads every 5 minutes on that show that pop up. And yeah, some of them like are a minute and some of them last for like 10 seconds and you can click the skip ad thing. But like I just think that is beyond the point of crazy. When I heard the news today and announced that 10 shows would be a year, 2 of them being 2-day events that they could grow on. There could be more shows if they wanted to have more shows. I kind of thought that was low. Honestly, in my mind, I felt like WWE was putting out more major shows than 10 pay-per-views a year. But I guess I looked at the schedule, and I think they're scheduled to do 11 this year, and Evolution was a special one that popped up. I guess they don't do a show in December, which is cool with me because that WWE TLC pay-per-view always seemed to be the one event that I was just checked out on. I didn't really follow WWE throughout the month of December because of the fact like football season is going on. It's really busy. You're transitioning from Thanksgiving to Christmas. You're always doing something extra where it's, going to get a Christmas tree, decorating the Christmas tree, going out and buying gifts, going to Christmas parties. There just always seems to be something in the world that is going on. Another thing that came up, I was on a show with my buddy Jeremy. We normally live stream on Tuesday or Wednesday. We ended up doing a Sunday show, so we canceled today's show. Max, that's enough. Got it? We ended up canceling today's show, but we had from the Ozone, Omar was on there with us, and he brought up one killer fact that's going to come up, and this is going to play a fact in this ESPN DTC app that's going to launch in August. Is like, let's say you're watching Sunday Night Football, and that's on NBC, and it's the same time that a WWE PLE is on. I guess a lot of PLEs are on Saturdays now. I guess they've kind of made the switch. So let's just say maybe you're also trying to watch a college football game that's on Fox or something like that. It's really hard to switch in the app thing. Like he says he uses the television as well as having like an iPad in his lap that he's able to like go back and forth on, because like I don't know what system is out there. I use an Apple TV, which some people would think it's an actual television that's on the wall, but it's just the actual. I tried to pick it up, and it's like connected. It's a box. It's only like this big, and it houses all the apps that you want to use on a main screen. It doesn't look like an iPhone, but it's close to the layout of an iPhone. It makes a lot of sense on there. I like the fact that doesn't matter how many boxes I have. I have 3 boxes at this time. Doesn't matter where I plug them in. It goes on the cloud, and they all look the same. All of them put all the same apps on them. All of them put all the apps in the same place. They're not like all jumbled up around there, or I'm downloading an app at the last second before I get on there. That's why the Apple TVs work for me. They're probably more expensive than Roku's, or I think even the television that I bought at Costco, it has all the apps on there. It's a smart TV, and I still don't use it because of the fact then you're adding an extra login, and some apps are now charging you for per televisions or per equipment that you're putting it on there. Pico, look at you. ESPN and Apple TV can do the split screen. Hopefully that I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, hopefully they do that. But I think I was really, really smart is that I kept my wrestling wall as long as I could. And I know like some of this stuff doesn't make sense, but it means a lot to me. Like my kids gave me that for Father's Day one year, and if you press the button, it's their voice in there as little kids telling them, "I love you, Dad." It's Olaf from Frozen. But these pops, they've been on the list for a while. I just gotta get rid of these, even if I just put them in a bag and throw them in a dumpster to get to the point where I can really put up the stuff that I want to. But like, I still have a lot of my DVDs. I don't know why I can get to my $5 wrestling DVDs, but I like my WWE ones I keep behind the pops. But like, I have all of my WWE, like the best of Shawn Michaels, the best of, I'm trying to think of some stupid DVDs that they made over the year. Falls Count Anywhere matches, Batista, I Walk Alone, Triple H, The Game, Hulk Rules, Hulk Still Rules. I've got all of those. It's still in the cases, and those are in alphabetical order for the most part up there. And then I have a WCW section. I've got an ECW section. For the guys that had like best of ROHs that came to WWE, it doesn't make any sense, but I mixed those into their section. Like the best of CM Punks are with the CM Punk DVD. So like it's kind of easier to find them if I ever really needed to. And then like your Elimination Chambers, your Survivor Series is, I might have left the WrestleManias in here for just because they're WrestleMania, but like all of like the breaking points or whatever the hell, I put those in boxes, like, well, crates, the ones you can buy at Costco's, the one you can buy at Home Depot, and then I think we stacked those up in the garage just to kind of, when I bought the new shelves, I thought I was going to be able to just put like figures and stuff up on the thing there. The only problem is it took me a while to build the shelves, and then I didn't budget more time to clean up the area. So I ended up having to go to sleep that night, took everything off the bed, put it right back up there. Huge mistake. Huge mistake. But I don't know. I think there's a few people out there that are reading the news, and everything kind of seems like they understand, for the most part, what is going on. I'm really waiting to hear a show with Dave Meltzer. To me, honestly, like nothing is real news until it comes from Dave Meltzer. I know a lot of people say that he makes up his own news, or maybe he puts his own spin or opinion on news. To me, when it comes from him, it is just full on there. I've heard from enough people that I really believe that if you have a cable source and you can log in and prove to ESPN you have it through verification, you'll be fine. I know that when I use the USA app, or if I use the what's another one that I have to verify? I think it was just the USA app when I was trying to watch like Raw. But there's something else that I know I have to go in there and prove to him I have YouTube TV as well. But it's really easy. It takes literally seconds. At the longest I would tell you is it takes a minute. It's just a pain in the ass, and I really hope that with the ESPN thing, I'm not going to have to do it every time I log in. Maybe if it's every 30 days, I can understand, because of the fact like you could have cable today and you could cut the cord tomorrow, and they're not just going to give you this for the history of time. That makes sense. So if it's like every 30 days, I kind of understand, especially if like you can save your information in there and just like push a button. Like this is still my name. This is still my password. And maybe it would go fast, but normally like you have to like take your phone and like shoot the QR code on your TV, and then you have to like do this, and it just feels like it's a pain in the ass, even if it just takes a minute or two to get through. But I've heard enough people say that if you have ESPN, you're not going to have to pay for this. Some people throw the warning, like you might have to have an ESPN Plus account at the same time. That's kind of weird. But at the same time, the company's going through a lot of changes. I've heard that Hulu is now going to become Disney Plus, which is really weird, because when Hulu first rolled out, it was a company that was like owned by NBC, I guess ABC, which would be Disney. And then maybe it was Fox. Maybe like the two companies sold out, and now just Disney owns the whole thing. But like when I think of Disney Plus, I think of like 101 Dalmatians or Toy Story or, like the Disney movies or even Disney cartoon movies. But now, like, Disney bought Fox. Well, maybe that's how they got the other half. Maybe because Disney bought Fox. And I don't really think of Fox being a part of Disney all that much. But now that is just going to be called Disney Plus, is what we always called Hulu. So now is it going to be like Disney Plus Live if you use their cable subscription? When they always had those commercials that were really confusing to me when they were like, Hulu has live sports, Hulu has live sports. But they never like told you that you had to sign up for Hulu Live. It made you think that if you just signed up to Hulu, you could watch Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs in their game. But it is what it is. WWE's, people call them the devil company, that they're just out for greed and internal money. It's the same thing that the NFL does, but I think it's honestly better in the long run because, like, as a 49er fan, I can watch most of my local games on TV here. Like, most of them will be on Fox Sporty because they're a good team. They're local. They're going to be close. But every once in a while, a game pops up and it's on Thursday night games. You have to have the NFL Network, right? Or no, last year the Thursday games were on Prime. So I have a Prime account because I buy stuff on Amazon and I want it delivered for free and I want it in 2 days. So that's honestly kind of paid for. But if I didn't, I think that's like $120 a year. But if you just buy stuff and have it shipped to your house and not pay for the shipping, I think that sort of pays for itself in the long run. But people still go bananas over that. But we have games on Sunday, which would be on NBC. They make a lot of money off that deal as well. But we get the NBC's covered on YouTube TV. And then if you get the Monday games have to be on Monday Night Football. So that's on ESPN. So, I mean, in the long run, people draw up this thing where it costs you billions of dollars to watch the NFL each and every year. If you like football, you're going to watch it. If you like wrestling, you're going to do whatever you have to do to watch wrestling. I think in the long run, we're going to be okay. I was really, really scared this morning. My buddy Mike, who left the comment a minute ago, if he's still in here, I literally asked to call him at here 4:30 in the morning. So it would be 6:30 in the morning there. Like I saw he retweeted the story, so I knew he was already up, but I was trying to have it make sense. And then my immediate thoughts were like, this sucks. This is stupid. Like the $30 a month was like, felt like it was the biggest words on the screen in every story that I read out there. And I'm just like, oh man. And it wasn't until I got to work and I sort of like broke the story down and then saw a few other people out there tweeting about it, who the ones I really believed were the people that were like entertainment bloggers that cover like the world of streaming and like they're not wrestling news people. And I knew that they would honestly have the best answer. And when I saw them tweeting that this would be covered by your normal ESPN subscription, I was like, hey, we're going to be all right. So in the long run, I think we're all going to watch WrestleMania 42. I think we're all going to watch, I was going to say Extreme Rules, but they don't use that pay-per-view anymore. I think we're all watching all of the shows. The only thing that's going to change, I think, is people having to download this ESPN app instead of watching it on Peacock. Long story short, I miss the WWE Network. What launched in 2014, 13 was a dream come true as a wrestling fan who had to deal with streaming apps. I can remember the first time that I found out how to live stream a pay-per-view, and it was crazy because it was like through like a webcam, not like one of those girl sites, but like it was like through a webcam site that I don't remember the name of, but like you go on there and go live and people would come into your room. Somebody figured out how to I guess, turn their webcam into their cable box. Like, so you're actually watching a stream. You're not watching them hold their webcam up to their television, and it looks horrible. But I remember that, like, for some reason, you used to have to download some separate thing to listen to the audio. And I think that show was the one time that Vince screwed Triple H out of the WWE Championship by wrestling Orton. But then Triple H beat Orton, and then Umaga beat Triple H, and then Orton beat, I don't know, it was a long way. I know that Umaga was never WWE champion, so Triple H had to have beat Umaga. But it was a crazy show, and I'm just sitting there, in the box to watch the pay-per-view, I felt like was that big. I'm literally like inside my computer trying to watch it. But you know, I remember a lot of times refreshing WWE.com to get to like see the results. I know a lot of people that the first time they had a Money in the Bank cash in, that was on a show. That wasn't the year they did the Elimination Chamber in Puerto Rico. That was the next year, but it was somewhere back east. And honestly, the show wasn't good enough to buy. And so we like, you're just like waiting to like see the results. And Edge is holding the championship, and they're saying he cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase. And I'm like, is he allowed to do that? Like, I just didn't understand like what it was. I thought that when they first rolled out the Money in the Bank briefcase, I thought that was the ticket to main event the WrestleMania the next year. That's the way that I honestly really remember it, that somebody would hold that briefcase and it would be like the new Royal Rumble or something like that. But I guess somehow along the way it changed and it rolled into something else. But I don't know, man, like that WWE network honestly was crazy. If you remember right, like the network launched, and within like a week, they gave us an NXT takeover, which was like an NXT. I'm pretty sure it was a special show that was almost like a pay-per-view. And it had that Cesaro versus Sami Zayn match. And that was like the tester. And some people had some problems. Some people it worked perfect. But then like when WrestleMania came, it just was normal. And then right after WrestleMania, of course, is when the Ultimate Warrior died. And then they gave us that Ultimate Warrior documentary like as soon as possible. I felt like that came out a week after his death. I mean, like, and then of course after that they launched Legends House, which was the reality show with the old wrestlers with Roddy Piper, Mean Gene Okerlund. Was the show great? No. Was it watchable? Yeah. It was freaking funny to see them put those guys in the house and like Tony Atlas not get along with Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Roddy Piper trying to do everything to get out of the house. Shawn Michaels dropped by one day. In the early days of the WWE Network, they were hungry and they were trying things to the point like when they launched a new show and it was called WrestleMania Recall. Immediately, I was like, we have seen everything there is to see with WrestleMania matches. Do something else. I was complaining that they were giving us something, but then it ended up being like 1 hour documentaries on one WrestleMania match itself. And I thought those were awesome. That I was like, okay, I'm not saying anything anymore. The Table for Three show was really, really good. Like, if you weren't getting your money's worth of the WWE Network, I had that at a time period when I just didn't have cable. And I would come home from work and I would just put something randomly onto the network. The Stone Cold Steve Austin talk shows, the Chris Jericho talk shows. They were hitting big that first year. And somewhere along the way, I think it was around the 2-year mark is when they started to like we're not making any money off of this. And you saw things sort of like kick back, like shows started to like not disappear, but they just stopped making them a little bit. Like there was not newer stuff, but they always gave us a pay-per-view. And for the people like Jim and the people like me who remember like begging their mom and dad to order In Your House 6 seasons beatings, like, and it was $20, and them looking at you like, do you want seasons beatings or do you want like a Nintendo game under the tree? And you got to make that decision. The fact that like for $10 you could just watch everything. And then they had that Madison Square Garden show. They had that King of the Ring show that was just supposed to be a house show that they just decided we're going to make it a special event on the network. Just trying to do anything to make it work. Was the stuff great? A lot of times, no, but it worked. And you didn't have to be like running to YouTube, pressing the refresh button to see like some idiot like me or Jim make a video and say like, hey, I was gonna say the Ultimate Warrior won. John Cena won again. What do you know? Yeah, Cena baby. I wish Jim would have dropped it. Like I tried to call Jim twice today because Jim already made a video and it was a good video. It honestly really was. But the video that I was like booking in my head, if I would have been the booker of the YWC, that's a little shot at you right there, Pico. If you're still watching, you and your buddy Chris. But like I wanted Jim to actually celebrate the fact the people that were telling us to throw our DVDs in the trash in 2013. I felt like they would come on our videos and they would point at us like, you're an idiot. You got this huge DVD collection. It's worthless now, blah, blah, blah. Like, you should take it and go sell it at Dimple Records or Half Price Books or something like that. And we held on to them. And in the long run, it looks like we really, really won. We don't really know where the library is going to go. And I thought that if Jim would have dropped the Cena baby with the DVD collection that I think he keeps in the closet. It might be in a plastic bag the last time I saw it on Twitter. But there was a day, Jim, you were trying to sell those. And I honestly remember trying to tell you, like, it makes sense, dude, if you want to let those go. But in the back of your mind, you had to think that like someday. I remember at one point thinking about getting rid of my movie DVDs and being scared that what if Netflix isn't around in 10 years? And it looks like Netflix is strong. They're going to be here forever. They're making their own shows. They cycle in movies in and out. I don't know how that really works in the world of like what they get the rights to stream and what they don't have. But like sometimes like I want to watch a movie. Like I wanted to watch American Pie 2 for a while, and I just don't know where to go. Like why is American Pie not on Netflix? Why is it not on Peacock? Like seems like a movie that they would want to have. That's like one of the biggest movies of all time. It seems like I can understand you don't want to have anything after 2. 3 was all right. 4 was watchable, but like The Naked Mile or whatever else they made using that name, that was just beyond the point of crazy. But I thank you. I went like 15 minutes on the way to work today. I went like 30 minutes on my lunch today to get another 45 minutes of your guys' time tonight. It's just freaking awesome. To give plugs out there, go to Jimny888. If you just click on his comment, I think that he's left in the chat. For you people, you can see his news video that he put up. It was really, really good. I really appreciate every single time Jim makes a video, even though it's not so much. My good buddy Weed the Pico over there, watch his videos from WrestleMania. I wish that he made videos when he was going to college and making like vlogs. I thought they were the best things in the world, and I wish he would have done them all 4 years that he went to Kansas. And I bet you he wishes that he did as well. Max, enough. My buddy Jeremy, Rock and Roll channel. I normally go live with him on Wednesday nights, normally around 5 o'clock to 8 o'clock, matters what coast you're on. Like I said, we did the Sunday pay-per-view show, which was really, really fun. And then my new buddy on the Ozone. That's a show that I'm hoping to get on. If you like New York sports, if you like wrestling, that's the place you want to go. Doesn't matter if it's Knicks, Nets, Yankees, Mets, Giants, Jets. They're gonna talk about it. It's gonna be a good spot to go. So thank you very much. Chad Rapp, you were in here tonight. I really appreciate every single time I see one of your comments. You made great videos back in the day. I loved the one you talking about your wrestling tattoos. I still think about it to this day. I understand that people don't want to make videos anymore. In a cool world, my buddies Miguel, Ravi, Luke, Matt Beast would all be making videos still. But I understand. I get it. That like Jim did a couple of years ago. I wish the YWC was honestly still running strong. But peace out, guys. I'll see you guys down the road, and y'all have a good night.